Okay, so let's dive right in. We're going to start with a concept from Indian folklore, a really chilling idea that, believe it or not, sets the stage for a reality that is so much more terrifying. This is the story of the Barari deception.
So, what exactly is a chalava? Well, I want you to imagine you're on a long, long journey. You're exhausted, you're vulnerable. According to Hindi folklore, this is the exact moment the chalava appears. It's a phantom, a deceiver, and it's ready to pull you into a nightmare of its own making.
And here's what's so fascinating about this idea. The power of this thing, it's not some supernatural force. It's psychological. It literally takes our own fear, our own exhaustion, and turns it into a weapon against us.
All right, let's get into how this phantom hunter actually operates. Based on all the old tales, it's a total master of psychological warfare.
I mean, look at this. It's an expert manipulator. It can trap its victims in these terrifying time loops, making them walk the same path over and over. It can conjure up illusions of a safe place to rest, a village or a home that isn't really there. And it's smart. It goes after the weakest person in the group first. It can even possess a body to just blend right in. But the most feared of all, that's the new moon chalava. It hunts entire groups, turning a simple trip into an absolute nightmare.
And this is where we pivot from folklore to a true story that is just bone-chilling. What happens when the chalawa isn't lurking on some lonely road, but it's actually inside a family's home?
Okay, so now let's go to a quiet, residential neighborhood in Delhi. On one fateful morning, a scene of just unimaginable horror was about to be discovered.
So I want you to just picture this scene. It's almost cinematic. A silent, narrow street totally wrapped in fog. The air is heavy. It's that quiet before a storm that absolutely no one saw coming.
And then, just like that, the silence is shattered. You see a two-story home, and it's surrounded by police tape. The red and blue lights are just flashing against the walls, this silent alarm telling the world that something is terribly, terribly wrong inside this very ordinary house. So, as the investigators cautiously step inside, their flashlights are just cutting through the darkness, and a mystery that would absolutely grip the entire nation starts to unfold. They discover 11 bodies, and every single one of them is a member of the same family. We're talking 3 generations, from teenagers all the way to the family matriarch. The details of the scene were just bizarre. So deeply unsettling. You have 10 people hanging in the main living room. All of them are blindfolded, their mouths are covered, their hands are tied. This was clearly not a simple crime. This was something far more complex, something that felt ritualistic.
You know, the house was completely undisturbed. There were no signs of a break-in, no signs of a struggle, which left the police completely baffled. That is, until they found it, the one crucial clue that would unlock this entire mystery.
So this crucial discovery happens when an officer just happens to notice a drawer that's slightly open. And inside, it's not a weapon, it's not a note, it's a collection of old, handwritten diaries. And this find changes everything.
And right away, it was clear these were not personal journals. No, these were rule books. For over a decade, these pages laid out in meticulous detail exactly how the family should live their lives and ultimately how they were supposed to die.
And this is the line from one of the final entries that just reveals everything about the family's state of mind. God himself will come. You see, they weren't planning to die. They were expecting to be saved.
So the diary started to paint this incredible, terrifying picture of a family that was completely under the spell of a powerful shared belief system, one that had totally warped their sense of reality.
So the diaries revealed that one family member was convinced he was channeling the spirit of his dead father. And these so-called instructions were then written down, dictating literally every part of their lives. Over 11 years, this created a completely closed-off world for them, a psychological echo chamber where this belief wasn't just accepted, it was the only reality they knew. The diaries made one thing terrifyingly clear. To the family, this final act, it wasn't a mass suicide, not even close. It was meant to be their ultimate ritual.
They followed the instructions in the diary perfectly, performing what they thought was a ritual of thanksgiving. They truly, genuinely believed that the patriarch would appear at the very last second to save them all and grant them salvation.
And this is where it all just comes full circle, right? The chalava from the folklore, that's an external phantom that haunts a lonely road feeding on fear. But what happened in Barari was the result of an internal phantom, a shared psychosis.
It's a rare psychological phenomenon where a delusion is literally transmitted from one person to an entire group, creating this unshakable alternate reality that cuts them off from everything. It haunted this family, and it fed on their faith.
This whole case leaves us with a really profound and unsettling question. Inside the echo chamber of our own minds, or even our own families, what is that incredibly fine line that separates absolute faith from a deadly shared delusion?